Welcome to We Visits Parks. I'm your guide. My friends call me E. It's back! The Disneyland Railroad is once again rolling around the park. I just happened to be in the park the first day of operation. What luck. How about a ground circle tour? Let's go.
Hello folks, welcome on board the Disneyland Railroad Holiday 4 train car set. Looks like we are going to be making our way to New Orleans Square Station. As we do make our way down, please remain seated. Keep your hands, arms, feet, legs inside the train at all times. Make sure those little ones are seated on a lap or away from the train opening, either behind a bench or behind a railing. Our next stop is New Orleans Square Station, but it is closed for construction in the surrounding area of the Haunted Mansion, so we ask that you remain seated and do not get off the train. Our next stop after that will be Toontown Depot. Thank you and enjoy your ride.
We're embarking on a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the primeval world and the age of the dinosaurs before returning to Main Street Station.
Please remain seated at all times for us, folks. Everyone, please remain fully seated at all times. Thank you.
Seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
Our first stop is New Orleans Square Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there. Literally. So be on the lookout. You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. New Orleans Square. This station also serves Frontierland and Bayou Country. You'll be leaving here.
Once again, friends, we are not letting anybody exit right now at this station. We kindly ask that you remain seated for this brief stop. We'll either be taking on water or letting our engineers exchange places. Once again, please remain seated at all times. We will continue our journey shortly up to Toontown Depot. Thank you, and welcome to Bayou. Alrighty folks, looks like we are going to continue our journey. Once again, we'd like to kindly ask that you remain seated, keep your hands and feet inside of the train at all times. Our next stop will be Mickey's Toontown Depot. That'll be your nearest stop for such attractions like It's a Small World, which is currently down for construction. Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Film, and just about anything you can think of in Fantasyland. Thank you and enjoy your ride.
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your We're now entering the park. Home to the Earth by New Adventure. This sneak peek is part of and other beloved critters on their fun-filled adventures. As we steam past Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree, we're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looks more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see.
Please make sure you remain fully seated at all times to watch your children.
year. The ones you'll find on Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Our next stop is Toontown Depot, official train station for Mickey's Toontown, the cartoon home where Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends live. Toontown Depot is the gateway to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters and stories. If you're leaving us here, please wait until the train comes home.
Well, friends, you're now approaching Mickey's Toontown Depot. And remain seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop. And your conductor will hop off the train, indicating it is also safe for you to exit. Once again, this will be your nearest stop for any and all Fantasyland attractions, any and all Toontown attractions, as well as Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day here at Disneyland.
Aboard!
Hello there, folks. Welcome on board the Disneyland Railroad Holiday 4 train car set. Looks like we are on our way. Please remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, legs inside the train at all times. Parents, please utilize your little ones to make sure those that are being stuck are seated away from the train opening, firmly on a lap, or behind a bench, or behind a railing. Our next stop will be Tomorrowland, folks. But don't worry, we're going to get there today.
This on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
As we leave Toontown Depot, we get a real nice view of the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland. You can see people stepping onto It's a Small World just below us. And, off in the distance, majestic Matterhorn Mountain. Visions of tomorrow, both practical and imagined. Here you'll find rocket ships and star speeders, submarines and astroblasters, and, if you look overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel of these cars. No experience or license required. If you're into soaring spaceships or doing battle with evil empires and emperors, Tomorrowland is definitely the place for you. Speaking of which, we're pulling into Tomorrowland Station right now. If you're leaving us here, just stay seated until we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings, including lightsabers and astroblasters, and step carefully from the train. Thanks, and have fun in the future. For the rest of you, just sit tight. We'll be on our way again in just a minute.
Also, here lies the future. As we make our way into Tomorrowland Station, please remain seated. Keep your hands on feet and legs inside of the train. This will be your nearest exit for any and all Tomorrowland attractions, such as the Autopia, which is just ahead, Star Tours, the adventure continues, and of course, Space Mountain. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.
Aboard!
Alright, friends, we are ready to go. Once again, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, legs on the train at all times. Parents, please supervise those little ones. Those under the age of 7 are to be seated on a lap or away from the train openings at all times behind a bench or behind a railing. Our next stop is Main Street Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the fantastic path of the Primeval World and the Grand Canyon. In the tunnel up ahead, we ask that there is no flash photography, no video lighting, and please turn off any lighted toys or mobile ones you may have. Once again, next stop, Main Street Station.
The next leg of our journey will take us from the fantastic world of the future to the breathtaking beauty of nature's own design, the Grand Canyon. For your safety, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Watch your children and no flash photography.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado, tenga las manos, brazos y pies dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Por favor, no tome fotografías con flash.
That was the Grand Canyon as we know it today. But it wasn't always this way. Now, let's travel back in time, way back in time, to the fantastic past of the primeval world, land of the gateway to Disneyland. If you're leaving us here, stay in your seat until we come to a full stop. Remember to gather all your personal belongings and step carefully from the train. I'd especially for the Grand Circle Tour of Disneyland. We hope you enjoyed your travels with us and that you'll come back to ride with us again real soon. For those of you staying with us, we'll be on our way again in just a few minutes.
Alrighty, guys, we're now approaching Main Street Station. Once again, stay seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop. This is our only station that has stairs only. There's no ramps, no elevators. Once again, this is only stairs. Stay seated until your conductors get off the train and open your exit gates. If you're taking the seat for you to exit as well. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your days here at Disneyland. This will be your nearest stop to the park exit, Frontierland and Toontown.
Thanks for riding with me today. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Follow on Instagram at evisitsparks. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notifications bell. Like this video, share with your family and friends on social media, and we'll see you on the next tour.